Hello, 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 beautiful unicorns. Yana Kasperczak coming to you live from Ontario of Canada as your certified professional performance and spiritual awakening core energy coach. It has been my soul's purpose to help women, to help you get your shit together so you can break free from the mental prison you find yourself in, so you can build a life, a business, and or a career that you are obsessed with. That you don't want to sleep as long as you used to sleep because you're too excited to live your life because you love it so much. And you had that once in your life until you forgot how to live your life in that way, or maybe life became too much and too mundane and too repetitive, and therefore changing things up. Just like with card readings. On Mondays, I do a card reading, and if you watch any of my card readings, you'll see that each and every one of them is different. Even if I pull up the same card from the deck, it's still going to be a different reading, and you're going to have a different experience. And when one day blends or bleeds into the next, this is where we really start to feel down and drained. And why bother? What is purpose of keep showing up for my life when it's just not worth it, when it's not fun? If it's not fun, if your life is not fun, I'm here to tell you something you already know. You're not doing it right. If life is not fun anymore, then you're doing it wrong. So figure out what doing it right looks like and sounds like and even smells like to you. And do that. Do that. What does it mean for you, for your life to be fun? What would you be doing? And you have to be also realistic. We can't just say, oh, I want to be always bouncing off the ground like I do on the moon, or like I would on the moon. Is that realistic? And if not, then what would be a realistic way of having fun in your life right here, right now, without you flying to the moon? So today's card reading, I decided to do the Sacred Destiny Oracle. And without further ado, let's get into it, shall we? Because as always, I know these any cards that I use, they always have powerful message for me, for you, for us. So I'm looking forward to hearing what they have in store for us. And it doesn't want to come out. Is it one? Yeah, one card. Ooh. This is actually my favorite bird, guys. Did you know that? I bet you didn't know that. Back in Russia, we had these birds everywhere. And I remember the noise they would make. They would be flying everywhere. We lived on the 7th floor. And these birds, the way that they make a nest is they gather soil, dirt, with their mix with their saliva, and they make a nest on the corner of the building or underneath the roof, and it looks like almost like a hive in a way. And from the top you could see the little babies, and they are beautiful. And this is what I learned, that they actually symbolize freedom. Sailors used to have, or you would get a tattoo with this bird and then an anchor, that they would be free, but the anchor would always bring them home. So just a little bit about the bird. And the bird has always symbolized freedom to me as well, because just look at how they fly. And also when they would make a nest, that symbolized good positive energy. Because a bird, and not just this bird, but birds in general, they're not going to make a nest where there's a lot of negative energy or a lot of dark energy. So, food for thought. Let's get into freedom. How would you like to have more freedom in your life? Because you know you can't. Right now you might not feel free. You might feel trapped where you are. And this is what I will refer to and remind you that this is the mental prison. It's keeping you trapped in your head, telling you in all these different ways, that voice, telling you all these different ways that you cannot have the life that you want for one reason or another. Or another, or another, another. It always has more than just one reason. That you can't do it, can't have it, or you're going to lose it all. You're going to fail, you're going to get laughed at, you're going to get ridiculed. Now, in some cases, that might be the reality. And if it is, what's the worst that could happen? You fail. People laugh, ridicule. And then what? Are you going to give up or are you going to keep going? Some will give up. Many will keep going. Those that keep going, they will prove not only to themselves but to everyone else who laughed at them that they are capable, that they got this, they know what they're doing, and they will prove to them in the end, who's laughing now? Huh? Yes, granted, it might take time, but we all got time. We think we don't, but we do. We do. We just gotta utilize it wisely. We all have 24 hours in a day. No one gets more and no one gets less. Everyone has 24 hours. Yet some utilize it wisely, while others wasting it away. And sometimes we gotta be brutally honest with ourselves. Especially when it comes to time. Where on the spectrum are you? I used to be where I was just wasting my time. And wasting it because I was in this mental state that I didn't have time. I didn't have time to do this, to do that, to enjoy life. I didn't have time. And so I lived that way. But when I started questioning myself and working on myself, I realized I got a lot of time. I'm just not ready to use it in the way that I want to use it. Or what's even worse is in the ways that I wanted to use it were actually not the ways that I wanted to use it. It was someone else's idea that was implanted in me or given to me, and I thought this is how I wanted to use my time, but I actually didn't. And that's actually really easy to tell if it's something you want to do or not, because if you're not doing it, you really don't want to. And if you are doing it, you want to. And then at the same time, when you really want to, and you're not feeling like you're allowed to, then you go down that rabbit hole and see why. Could be because it's not yours, or could be because you are not allowing yourself. Okay, let's get into this. Freedom. Cliff swallow. That's the name of the bird. Swallow. Swallows. The swallow flies free on the wind currents and thermals in remarkable aerial maneuvers, igniting the expression as free as a bird. In many cultures, such as that of the ancient Egyptians, the swallow was thought to carry souls to heaven. Early sailors would tattoo themselves with an image of a swallow, so if they drowned, the swallow would carry their soul to the heavens. A little bit deeper onto why they actually tattooed. The way that I heard it is, as I said, that they would feel free and like flying in the storm, right? Because the swallow flies with the help of wind. Of course, it can fly by itself, but why strain yourself when you have Mother Nature to help you? So, but this is definitely interesting. The swallow would carry their soul to the heaven. That's why they would tattoo. And then the anchor, of course, it's not in here, but the anchor would be so, they would always be anchored home and brought home. In poor light, a cliff swallow looks brownish, gray. However, in good lighting, it is a luminous, metallic, dark blue. It actually is. And it's stunning. Go to Google, look at cliff swallow birds. And there's quite a few actually swallows. So the ones we had weren't necessarily cliff swallow, but they look exactly like that. So I mean, it could have been, even though we didn't have cliffs where we lived. Cliff swallow traditionally make their nests on vertical cliffs, carefully crafting them out of mud. Although they can nest solitary, they usually nest in colonies, tribes, coming together. You're you're safer in a group than when you are alone and isolated. Just think about how even lions hunt, or any predators hunt their prey. They want to single out that one. And yes, we want to be independent. We want to be strong on our own 2 feet. And we want to not want or need anyone. And that's great. But you can do that in a group, in a tribe, in a community of like-minded women who are helping and supporting each other to be their unique, authentic self, to be that unicorn, that one-of-a-kind human that you are, that nobody else will ever be or ever has been. When one finds a cloud of insects, it alerts the other members of the flock so that all can be nourished. Even though they fly free, their community supports them. You are on your journey of life on your own. Even if you have people really close to you and you think they know you, they don't. You are in this alone. Just like swallow, these beautiful birds. They know they're on their own. But a community is important because it supports them when they need it most. In a time of bad times and the good times, or in feeding frenzy in this example. This sacred landscape wants you to know. Express yourself without hesitation. Break free and let your spirit fly. Be you. Practice not caring what anybody else thinks or says. And I know some of you say, oh, I don't care what people say or think about me. If you say that, you actually do. It is the truth. So we humans are social creatures. And big part of being a social creature is we need acceptance and validation from others. And if we say we don't, oh, I'm okay, I don't need it, that means that you actually need it most. And yes, you are meant to learn to give the support and validation for yourself. But it's also nice to get it from others. And chances are, it could be because you have a lot of people that you're needing that from, which is quite unrealistic and possibly unattainable. But when you start working on that list of the people that you need to prove what you need from them, what you want from them, how, that validation. When you lower that list, it becomes a lot more achievable. And you don't have to prove yourself to anyone but you and this 1, 2, or 3 other people. And maybe just you and another person, because in the end, you just want to prove to yourself that you can do this, that you can be yourself and allow yourself to be yourself and not care what others think, but you do care what people think. Just maybe there's way too many people on that list that you care about their thoughts and their opinions. So when you lower that list, you'll start to show up authentically, more authentically. We all care. It's in our human nature to care. It's a form of self-preservation to care what other people think. We all care. It's just, maybe you care too much, like I said, because of that list of people. I know I went years saying, oh, I don't care what people think, I don't care what people say. But that's when I cared the most. That's what I need. We say what we need very loudly. So in saying I don't care, it's what I needed and what I wanted. I wanted to not care. But the reality is, I am a human being. I do care what people say, and I do care what people think. But my people, the list of my people is very small. Very small. Because I worked on that list. I identified all that was attached. But it took time. And it used to be, so many people, literally the whole entire world. The whole entire world, especially being online and public. So I took it upon myself to work through it, to learn through it, to grow through it. And now I can happily say I help others to do the same. This is one of the reasons why we have the Imposter Banishing Quest created and being created currently to help everyone, all the women, to do the same. So make choices that increase your freedom. Don't be tied down. Laugh, dance, explore, and go beyond predictable behavior. Be daring. Live your life. You got one life to live. Why are you waiting to live it? Whose permission are you waiting to live your life? No, seriously, make a list of the people that you're waiting to get a permission from to live your life. Are you still waiting for your parents' approval? Or your husband's approval, your partner's approval, your friend's approval? Some of them will give you, but even when they give you the approval, that's not really what you're seeking for. You're seeking for your own approval. And that's why when they say, yes, go ahead, you're still not fully believing it, and you're still not fully taking action on whatever approval they have given you, because it's you yourself who needs to give yourself that approval. And until you give it to yourself, you ain't gonna have it. So, whose approval are you actually waiting for? Cast aside restrictions. Find your wings. As you do, you help others to find theirs. You are not here to be ordinary or live a mundane life. You want to remember your life, don't you? That's why my approach is live your life with the end in mind. We're all going to die. It's inevitable. I know some of you have that fear of dying. And I did too. And it's important. And it is something that we get to learn a great deal from. Because by identifying and recognizing that you're not living your life because you're scared of the end, when the end is nowhere near, then what are you really scared of? Maybe You're scared of the same thing I was, is having lived a life and then reflecting back on it and feeling like I haven't lived at all. So if that's you, where would you start? How would you start living your life? And then start doing it. Give yourself the permission. Stop waiting for everyone else who is trapped in their own minds to give you permission, to accept you, to validate you. And the ones that you wanted from most are the ones that you needed from the least. And sometimes the ones that you think you don't want it from at all are the ones that you wanted from the most. So, where were we? Ordinary life or live a mundane life, you are here to step beyond limitations and self-imposed boundaries. You're here to live and not pretending like you're living. Do not be trapped by convention or the need to please others. Choose life on your terms. Don't accept rules that don't feel right. If something doesn't feel right, it isn't. Listen to what your intuition is telling you, what your guides are telling you, what the universe is telling you. If something doesn't feel right, it isn't. If something is too good to be true, it probably is. You can be immensely free and yet still be part of loving, supportive community. Wouldn't that be nice? Or isn't it nice for some of you that are feeling free and are in a community of the same women who are free and yet come together to help and support each other and encourage and motivate each other, and yet they're free, they're not attached to anything or to anyone or to any result or any tips or tricks or help that they have given, that they know the information is there. If you ever want it or if you want to use it, you can, but you don't have to, because you might simply not be ready to use it or not be ready to even hear it and understand it, because we're each on our own journey and we go through life in our own timeline. We can't rush the process, and the more that we try to rush the process, the harder it seems to be and become. Isn't it interesting how it works out that way? Okay, so let me see. Hey Kitty, how are you doing, beautiful? Kitty says, good afternoon. Live as free as you can. 100%. We're meant to be free. And the freedom is not outside, it's inside. It's in our minds. It is freedom is an illusion. It is. Yes, we might be locked in a physical prison, but we can feel free when we're there, or we can feel trapped when we're there. Freedom is a feeling. It's an emotion. It's an emotional state, a state of being. It is not anything physical. I didn't feel free for a big part of my life. I felt trapped in all of my responsibilities, in all of my have tos, in need to and must to or must do, until I started to really, really work on myself and saw that I didn't have to do shit. I wasn't responsible for anything. I chose those responsibilities. And until I allowed myself to actually choose them consciously, I continued to stay trapped in feeling like I have to, I need to. And this sense of responsibility of carrying the whole entire world on my shoulders was so massive, so enormous, that I sabotaged my own success. Time and time and time and time again. Until I learned and then I took action on what I've learned, and then that version of me is in the past. And then I continue to learn other areas that I can grow and evolve and become good at or better at. And then that version of me, or this version of me, will be in the past, and it will be a new version of me. And you get to see a new version of me every single week for these card readings, or the Get Your Shit Together weekly live guidance that I do on Thursdays. Or if you come to the Sacred Circle, it'll be a different experience. If you're part of the Imposter Banishing Quest, you'll also see me growing and evolving in there. No matter how you see me show up or where you see me show up, you'll see me as a new and improved version of myself, because I continue to work on myself, as do you. Every day, you're a new and better version of yourself. So, continue to grow and evolve. Kimberly says hello. Good afternoon. Hello to you as well, beautiful. Thank you, ladies, for being on here. If you've missed the beginning, go and check it out as well. There's always valuable information in the beginning, because quite a few things come through before I actually start doing the card reading. But otherwise, I will see you all next week for another one of these weekly live card readings that I do in this group, Heal the Unicorn: Emotional Healing and Spiritual Growth for Women, at 11:45 a.m. Eastern Time-ish. And until next time, thank you. I appreciate each and every one of you, and welcome to all the new group members as well. I want to make sure you hear from my own mouth saying welcome and come on in and enjoy the tribe, and hope this feels like home. And if not, no hard feelings whatsoever. Keep looking for a place that feels like home to you, that is the community that you need and want and desire and deserve. And until next time, bye everybody. Thanks for being on here. See you next time.